back, everybody. This is Paranormal Watchtower, episode 2. Myself, Brandon, and Ray.
All right, that was pretty energetic. I believe tonight we're starting off with our main segment. We're going to be talking about tips and tricks for people that are just getting into paranormal investigating. I'm sure we'll get into some pet peeves that you see. I know Brandon probably cringes a little bit getting into this subject.
Yeah, it's not one that I'm going to talk about too much. We don't want to piss off too many people, but yeah, we'll dabble a little, maybe.
We'll dabble.
Dabble.
All right. Well, you want to start stuff off since you got the most experience?
Well, first off, we need to give a shout out to one of our sponsors.
All right.
So this portion of the podcast is brought to you by Brian Payne Music. Brian's a local singer-songwriter from Wisconsin, working on building his music career. Been generous enough to help us out with sponsoring this podcast. All Brian's released music can be found on his TikTok page, all music platforms, and in his link tree. Brian Payne WI. He thanks you all for your support ahead of time.
And he's sent a jingle for the show.
He did. He sent us the music as well.
You guys want to hear it real quick? Am I allowed to play it?
I think you can play 5 seconds, 10 seconds of it if you want.
Right. It's off my phone, so you deal with it. You start rapping for us?
Yo.
You gotta hear these hi-hats coming up.
It's coming. It's awesome. I love it.
All right. So that's from Brian Payne.
Yeah, love it. Love it.
My phone's just wanting to keep playing it. There we go. Get it off. All right. Now you ready to jump into new paranormal investigators?
Yes. So, if you're brand new to paranormal investigating, just thinking about it, there's a few things that we can suggest to you to help you get started. Go through, I don't know, 6, 7, 10 little things that'll help you get started. And then if you're interested, I can actually give you suggestions to do as when you actually start actively doing it. There's like certain places to look for, certain places you don't want to go to, stuff like that. I guess we'll start off by saying, obviously, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have somebody with you. You want to go to a place that is known as haunted or has a history of paranormal activity. It doesn't need to be proven, just especially when you're first starting out, it doesn't have to be, it's nothing serious. You're just trying to get your feet wet, you know. First places I like to recommend are cemeteries, because one, they're free. They're open during the day, and that's when you usually want to go first. Whenever you do a location, you want to see it in the daylight first. Not only do you want to watch for people hiding around the corner, but you don't want to fall into a pit that you didn't know was there. You don't want to fall down some stairs that might be hidden. It's a safety thing. You want to touch base on any of that, Ray?
Don't trespass. Like 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up getting to talk to the cops. And it's weird to explain to cops that you're investigating paranormal stuff. So just don't trespass. Yeah, I know some of you are going to anyway.
And there are little tricks you can do to find out who owns the place and to get permission, but that might come later.
Yep, always ask.
Check it out during the day. Yeah. Try to do your research on any of the places that you're going to. Find out if there's been people that have passed away, just to give you some sort of knowledge to start associating yourself with. You want to be very gentle when you go into a location, especially one that you don't know. First, I don't know, let's just call it 5 times. You want to go in there, introduce yourself to the spirit. I know it sounds really dumb to go in there and say, "Hi, I'm Brandon," when you're not talking to anybody. but that's what you should do. It's kind of, you just remember that they were people too. So you got to treat them with some sort of respect, kind of like you're walking into their living room. If you think of it that way, you're walking into their living room unannounced, and you want to tread lightly and make it, give them a nice warm fuzzy feeling at first, and then see where it goes from there.
Mm,
What do you think? You like warm and fuzzy, Ray?
warm and fuzzy.
Warm and
Like I
fuzzy?
always, when I investigate, I always try to be polite, even though my beliefs are a little different on things. I still am trying to be polite, just in case.
Oh, and dress appropriately.
Dress appropriately.
Always bring a sweatshirt. Always bring a sweatshirt.
It's usually cold. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm in Wisconsin, so yeah.
Hmm,
There's like 7 days throughout the year that it's actually hot at night.
that's
So
fine. That'd be horrible.
some people, you want to kind of, now this is a touchy subject of protection. When you first start out, I've kind of known for saying overprotect yourself while you're getting started. If you want to do the prayer way of protection, if you want to do the stones way, if you want to have a little um, St. Michael pendant in your pocket, something. Um, I like to say you need to coax yourself. You need to be physically ready or mentally ready for it, because you never want to go into a place scared. You don't want to bring that fear in with you. That's just gonna cause all sorts of problems for you. But once you're in, another little tip and trick I like to do is when you're taking pictures, oh, and get your camera ready before you go there so you're not futzing around in the dark. Another little hidden tip. But when you're telling the spirits who you are, ask them if you can take their picture, and then you can actually ask the spirit to join you in your picture. I've seen it work. So that's just another little trick. Little trick. Who do you think, Ray? You ever
Oh,
tried
you've
that?
seen it work? No, I've never tried that. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody try that
I've seen people try it. Let's put it that way.
on TikTok.
No, off of TikTok. This is way before TikTok.
I was gonna say I don't think I've ever seen that on any of the TikTok ghost or paranormal investigators.
No, no.
You just ask them. You're like, hey,
Yeah, yeah, because
come put your arm around me. Let's take a picture. Let's take a selfie.
yeah. See, they want acknowledgement. Everybody thinks they're out to scare you and boo you and do that, but they want acknowledgement just like anybody would. Like it's kind of like walking into a party when you're a teenager. You want people to say hi to you and acknowledge that you're there. You don't want to go in and just hide in a corner. Same premises.
That's interesting.
Unless you disagree. But either
No,
way,
I've just never seen anybody try it, and I've never tried it. I mean, might as well try it. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. It'd freak me out if all of a sudden there's like somebody hanging off to my side or something. Be a good catch though. I
it's
think
just
some.
about
Oh, go
it's
ahead.
about common courtesy. It's just basically just common courtesy. Go in there, treat the spirit how you would want to be treated as a human. You'd be surprised the results you can get.
Yeah, what do you say about like provoking like you see on TV?
Oh, you went right to that already, didn't you? I thought we weren't going to talk about this till later.
Okay, I can skip it.
No, that's all right. 95% of the time, provoking is a horrible thing. Horrible thing.
I agree.
5% of the time, or less, maybe, I believe that if used correctly, that provoking can be acceptable. And the only way I believe that is acceptable is if you are using it as a defense mechanism. If they are coming at you, you need to stand your ground. If something's coming at you and physically threatening you and you hear it through your voice box or EVP, you need to stand your ground and not back down because they'll use that weakness. They'll use it. So that would be the only time that I would agree with provoking or back provoking, I would call it, but you get what I mean.
Right. That makes sense. I'm not sure if I've ever like angrily tried to provoke something. Like I've tried to offer things, like a cigarette or something, be like
Well, that's more like promoting than provoking.
promoting.
I don't know. Uh, you, I offer offerings, little treats and stuff, and popcorn all the time. You know,
Do
but
they like do they like popcorn?
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, that's what they told me they did. It's on video. I got to record it.
I think something that's really important to understand is you don't have to go spend a ton of money if you're just starting out. Like maybe just
Very
take a
true.
voice recorder, video camera, see if you even like doing it because it gets very boring. Like paranormal investigations, 90% of the time are you're just standing there asking questions to nothing. I mean,
Right.
it's great when you get evidence, but most of the time you're just standing there waiting.
That's a great point. Most people they see the television shows and they see stuff happening constantly, or YouTube videos where you got to realize they're YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, they're clipping the whole night into little bits and showing you the highlights, so to speak. Um,
Some of the
but
big shows you're getting, like a week cut down into an hour.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah. Unless you're using an app, then people are playing that off like it's Ghost the whole time. But we can
right,
talk about that later. As far as tools go, I think if you just, well, obviously, I always say the most important one is yourself. That's the most important tool. It's your whole sixth sense as far as sensing danger. If you feel like you need to get out of there, then do it. There's a reason for it. But on the flip side of the coin, I've been in places where I felt like, oh, I need to take a picture over here. I think something's going on, and just do it. It's almost like you can feel it, you can sense it a little bit. You do it for a while, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's probably people in the chat right now in the listening that know that feeling.
well, definitely.
But the tools go, you don't need much. Voice recorder. I always suggest a voice recorder because it's super fun. Like the first year you're doing it to go back and listen to it. Years later it gets old and redundant a lot of times, but once you'll listen for hours and hours and hours just to get that one little 3-second clip that's going to blow your mind, makes it all worth it.
Yep.
So voice recorder, maybe some sort of EMF detector if you want, not a necessity, but voice recorder for sure. Uh, and then once you get comfortable with that, then maybe bump yourself up to uh like a voice box or a spirit box, you know. There's all sorts of things that you can go up to and add to your collection as you go, but don't worry about right away. You don't need to go out and spend $1,000.
All right. Let's say you're a brand new investigator and you got $200. What are you getting?
Oh, me?
Yeah,
Oh, easy.
you're a brand new investigator.
I'm gonna go buy a $45 digital voice recorder that has an output that I can plug right into my laptop.
All right.
They got like a little slide device on the side. Sony has them, and oh, I don't know. They got different kinds that have them.
So you
So I'm
got
gonna get that for
155 bucks left.
45. Yep, I got 155 or just 55.
155.
Oh shit, $200. That's a lot. I don't even need that much. All right, I'll grab a $30 K2.
Okay.
So that brings me to 75 bucks. Gives me
Now,
125. I'll buy a used spirit box. I'll buy a used SB11.
the 11
Yep, for sure.
is, you can get the 7 for 80 bucks.
No, no, no. I'm
Still
gonna
on
go
the
right.
11.
don't. I got them both. Got them both right, sitting right here. And
So do I.
I would much rather have the 11 than the 7 for
Uh,
obvious reasons.
the 11 has so much better functionality. I just like the portability of the 7.
Well, once any investigator is going to tell you the more you use it, the more you're confident with it actually working. You're bonding with it, you know.
It's not really about it not working for me. It's just so bulky.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to carry all that stuff around. Wintertime,
Well,
it's fine because you got a hoodie on.
I mean, some guys are used to carrying around stuff that's a little bulky. I understand, Ray. It's all right. It's just it's not that much. It's not
I
that
knew
much
you were going to
bigger.
turn it that way somehow. Is it, like you couldn't even see it for the green screen.
No, that's all right.
Show them. It's tremendously a big difference.
You can't.
One, two, three. Praise 6.
No, it's about 3 times the size in the front. Damn it.
I'd say you could
Nope.
probably fit like 6 SB7s into an 11. At least, maybe even 8.
No, 5 or 6. 5.
That's a lot.
5 or 6.
Now, if you're
Uh,
just sitting there doing Estes method, it's great to have the SB11 for me. That works so much better for that.
so one more thing I wanted to hit as for new investigators, a good way to find places to go if you're done doing cemeteries and stuff like that, and you want to take the next step. Try to get in contact with your local historical society, because they are more than willing to tell you where these sites are, the historical sites. You don't have to tell them that you're a ghost hunter or a paranormal investigator. Just say you're interested in the history. What are the oldest spots you want to go to, or the most interesting? And you can word it however you want. But if you tell them, hey, I'm going to go there and play with noises or play with toys at night and make the neighbors nervous, they might not tell you as much. So just tell them you're interested in the history, and they'll tell you all this more than you want to know.
Let me ask you this. Do you prefer to find out history before you go to a new location or after?
It depends if I have a medium with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if I don't have a medium on the team that night, then I'd rather know ahead of time, for sure. But if I have a medium, I don't want that medium knowing. I don't want anybody on the team knowing what's going on, what happened. I sure as hell don't want the medium to find out. So
Right.
we'll get what we get, and then once it's all done, then we'll compare notes to the history.
That makes sense. I think everywhere I've gone, except maybe Farrar, I've always waited to do the history after. I just didn't want to influence anything I was hearing. If I
Mm-hmm.
already knew the name Harold or something, of course I'm going to hear that through that static on the spirit box.
Yeah, you're gonna want to hear it.
Yep.
You're gonna
So,
program your mind to hear it.
yep. So for me, it's better for me to not do the history ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
But at Ferrari, like it's such a unknown for me. I had to do a little history
I love that
before.
place. I just love that place.
When are we going back?
Soon, soon,
Soon.
soon. And to be honest with you, I kind of want to do it short notice, so 40 people don't find out we're going.
I couldn't handle 40 people in that little building.
Yeah.
It's pretty echoey.
Well, it's not that little. Well, the gymnasium is super echoey.
Yeah. Like I remember when somebody'd get loud, like I think I was down in the kitchen and I could hear them up on the 3rd floor yelling.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yep.
It's so open there. So what's next on the list? Oh, before you move on, you think about that. When you are new, you want to make sure when you're leaving two things, two very important things. You don't want to move anything around in the new location because you can disrupt the flow, the everyday flow of things for them. Okay. You don't want to move too much around. And if you do, just put it back. Not a problem. You want to do some sort of cleansing. So you can't just walk away and say, "You're not allowed to follow me. Shame on you." No, that any asshole ghost or something evil is not going to listen to that one bit. They're going to take that as a challenge, and they're definitely going to come after you. So I like to suggest to you that you smudge yourself. I'm a firm believer in that, and just make sure you say cleansing things, and you're trying to make them stay there, but don't do it in the place or in your car. Do it outside, so that whatever might be starting to attach to you goes out into the abyss and not into your car or into the place that you were just in. Does that make sense?
Did you say smudge yourself?
Yeah. Yeah.
What does that mean? Like,
It's
what are you
just
smudging on you?
you smudge yourself with sage
Oh,
or
okay.
whatever.
I've never done that, I guess.
Yeah. And you can buy sage very cheap. You can get like 2 for $12. A little sage stick. It
Are you
stinks
one of
like hell.
those Sage versus Palo Santo kind of people?
Um, well, I started off, I didn't know anything about Palo Santo.
Right.
But once I discovered it, I think Tina was the one who showed me Palo Santo. That's a much, how do I put, less abrasive smell. It's if you've ever smelled sage, you'll know. Um, it's very potent smell. It's very potent. Um, so you can get it just about anywhere. I heard through the grapevine that you can get them at most adult stores. Not that I know, I just heard that somewhere.
I've never heard that. I just now heard that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Any other
Um,
pointers?
well, the internet tells you that you should bring binoculars as like a basis for tools, but I don't buy that unless you're
Oculars?
Bigfoot hunting. You
Yeah.
know, if you're looking for Bigfoot, yeah, binoculars, perfect. But other than that, I don't think you need it.
I got some
Uh,
night vision stuff.
yeah, and
Just got it off TikTok.
they suggest a point and shoot camera. Most people's phones have that.
Yep.
So
A lot of people's phones can do the voice recording too. Like,
mm-hmm.
you could honestly go out and investigate with just a phone.
Just hit record and make a video. Well, look what happened when we were doing the last podcast. Tell them what was going on when you were editing the sound
Oh my
from
God.
my end.
I don't know what it is. I think Brandon might have demons at his house. Because I'd be having my headphones on, editing the last podcast, and just the weirdest stuff would come through his mic. And it wasn't like artifact sounding or artificial sounding or pops and clicks or S's. Like, I sent him a recording of one.
Yeah.
I don't know if it says anything. I haven't, like,
Maybe since we're talking about it, you should play it.
I'm looking for it. I haven't slowed it down or nothing to see if it's saying anything. I
Well,
don't really want to know.
I saved it if you want me to do it.
You saved it?
Yeah,
All right.
I think I did. Let me look here.
We'll let him do
Yeah, I
it.
got it right here. Here, I'll send the video that Ray sent to me. Let me see if this will work. Oh, hang on. Got to unpause it. I forget how.
Brandon, what the hell is this noise coming from your house? What is that, man? I've been cutting this out like crazy.
I don't know. That's a pretty weird sound.
It's very weird sounding. I'm terrified of this episode.
I'm hoping that whatever's around me, if you want to talk to Ray, go ahead. Give them a message. Tell them what you are, who you are.
Tell me Brandon's whole name. That's what I want to hear. We'll mark this right now and I'll check it. Creepy.
Just tell them boo really loud and scary.
Boo. You got any other tips or tricks,
Oh,
pointers?
I could talk all day on tips and tricks, but we're just covered, the beginnings. So like I said, basically cemeteries don't need much for tools, don't need much money. Like $60, $70 would be enough to get started.
Right.
Digital voice recorder, number one. If you could walk in just with that, you can find one, 40, $45, perfect. Get permission to go there. Don't go alone. Try to go during the day to do a quick scout. Be mindful that you're walking into their location. It's their home that you're walking into, so be respectful. Tell them your name. Oh, and tell them how to use the equipment that you're using, because somebody who passed away 100 years ago isn't going to know what the hell a REM pod is, so if you're using that, show them how to do it. Be respectful, leave it the way you found it, and cleanse yourself when you're done. Thoughts?
Makes sense.
Thanks,
You say it
thanks for
all.
that intelligent response, Ray. That was
No
awesome.
problem. I'm trying to read it at the same time. Not like the way you explain things. Like, what else do you say? Be respectful. Did you cover that again?
Well,
Be
we can,
respectful.
but you can say it again. It's a good point to hit.
Gives me something to say.
That's right. That's right. So what about this? Are we gonna do the cryptid of the week?
Yeah, you want to move on to that?
Yeah, let's move on to that. I think we spent enough time on the
All right.
ghost hunting in the beginning.
The cryptid of this week is none other than the Florida skunk ape.
That is something I never heard of until he brought it up to me.
I can't believe you never heard of it. I was
No.
interested in this in the 90s when I was a teenager, probably, because somebody got a photo that is a good photo. It looks like a baboon to me. I don't. They say that no baboons escape down there, but you know how people just be having some crazy animals in Florida. Like,
Well, people are crazy animals in Florida.
right, like I have no doubts in my mind that somebody probably lost their baboon.
You
Why
think
they
that's
have it,
all it
I
was?
don't know. That's kind of what I think, but like the history of it, the first report was in a newspaper in 1818. So, I mean, this legend's been around a while, and there's also reports that the Seminoles and another Native American culture down there had stories of this, and it's supposed to stink. That's why they call it the skunk ape.
Yeah.
But even those Native American stories talked about it being stinky, and they say 6.5 to 7 feet, so pretty tall.
I think there was a band who actually made a song about it, wasn't there? I think I saw something about that.
That could be. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was a band that did a song talking about how they were getting chased through the woods and fell down and talking about the stench. I saw like a 3-second clip of it. So if you do your research on the skunk ape, you might find that. I found it and I didn't even look very hard.
Like I'm seeing reports 29, 1942, reports in the 50s through the 70s, it says. So it's like a stinky Bigfoot.
Stinky Bigfoot. Is it as big as Bigfoot or is it smaller?
I mean, 6.5 to 7 feet. I've heard Bigfoot described a little taller.
So it's Bigfoot's stinky kid.
Pretty much.
He's the stinky kid in class.
I don't know why in Florida. I'm guessing, back in the day, most of your freight and whatever would probably land in the Florida area coming to America from other countries. So I could see like apes being able to survive for a little bit in Florida. I mean, it's pretty nice down there till a hurricane hits,
Hmm.
and then that might be why there's a lull in seeing any of them. And then, 10 years later, one sneaks on a boat.
I'm not sure I would be surprised if I saw just a wild ape running through Florida.
I would not.
I don't know if it would even surprise me. And I mean, I've only been to Florida, what, once or twice?
I've never
No,
been.
3 times. Oh, wait, I take it back. I forgot. I went down there a few times.
But they say it
Got engaged down there once.
just once.
Yeah, just once.
They say it's busted into people's homes, stalked people, killed farmers' livestock, including a horse and a bull. You got to be pretty big to kill a bull.
Yeah,
Them things
that
are
takes.
huge. A
Yeah, that
police
takes.
officer reported hitting one with his car.
Well, you would think if the cop hit it with his car that he would have physical
Apparently not.
evidence.
Apparently not.
So he hit it with his car and it got up and ran like a stubborn buck.
Right.
Okay, so he didn't kill it.
Yep. In 1997 was a photograph that's pretty famous. That's probably the one that got me interested in it.
Okay. Okay. Hmm.
California even tried to pass a bill to protect humanoid type species. It didn't pass. I
Wait,
guess
what
we're
state
gonna
did that?
or Florida, sorry.
Oh, well,
I say California.
I
I
don't
mean, they
remember.
probably did. It
I don't know.
says 1977 they failed to pass a bill proposed to make it illegal to take, possess, harm, or molest arthropods or humanoids.
Wow.
I
Hmm.
take it serious.
Right?
Hopefully soon we'll have it where I can put up pictures on our video
Yeah,
feed.
so we can show pictures of this thing.
Yep.
That'd be pretty cool.
Just Google it.
Then
You can find plenty of
yeah,
pictures.
yeah, just Google it. The skunk ape. You'll see the picture of him behind the tree. It looks like a big black long-haired ape. With I think he's got a silver beard if I remember correct.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like a baboon.
Um,
I've seen a few videos that didn't look like that picture, so that's why I'm really thinking that picture is a baboon.
and those of you who are just listening, we are gonna open it up to questions that are listening to our listeners. So stay tuned for that. Who knows what's gonna come up with that in just a few minutes here.
Yep. You got anything to add about the Florida skunk ape?
No, I'm good. I don't want to ever see one.
I don't want to smell one. It sounds like.
Yeah, it's my luck to end up being a skinwalker of some sort.
All right. Well, let's go into the supernatural crime story of the week. Now, this one's pretty famous. As you may recall, 2013, Elisa Lam in the
Oh,
Cecil Hotel in California.
okay. Now I know who that. Now I know who it is. When you sent me
Yeah,
the name, I didn't know who it was. But if you would have said, "Hey, it's the woman that did the freaky stuff around the elevator and then ended up in the water tower," I would have known exactly what you meant.
to this day, it's hard for me to watch the video of her in the elevator. Like the way
Yeah,
her hands were just did not seem normal.
right. She looked scared.
Yeah, and they're like, she has a mental illness, and I understand that, but that don't make your hands deform like that. Like, what
Can you
was going
tell
on?
people that are listening a little bit of backstory about her? I don't remember all the details.
Yes, let me get here. So pretty much, she was a young lady that went and stayed at the Cecil, and sometime in the night, she just started acting strange, and this is on security surveillance video.
This is all based on security footage.
Yeah,
Like none of it is filmed by somebody. It's all from the hotel footage.
but she like dips in the elevator, looks out. She's looking down the hall, like to me, obviously looking for somebody. And then she like hits all these buttons on the elevator, and the
Didn't
way
she
her,
come back in the elevator? Like she
Mhm.
went out and then like got scared and came back
Yeah,
in.
she like scooted around the edge of the elevator and then darted back in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the weirdest videos I've ever seen. I don't like to watch it, honestly.
It is a little creepy. It's creepy.
First
You
time I
could
seen
probably
it, and her hands were doing that weird stuff, dude. I don't understand how that happens. Like, that's straight out of some exorcist shit right there.
see. I feel like I'm missing something because I don't remember the hands. I'm gonna have to
Oh my
go
God.
look it up again.
Dude, watch the hands. I don't even know how to explain it. Maybe it's just the quality of the video that makes it look weird, but
Yeah.
it freaks me out every time.
Our
I
rumor
honestly
had
have.
it that rumor has it that after they closed it down a while ago, right? The hotel was closed for the longest time,
Yeah,
and now and I don't know if it's true, but the rumor mill says that they're turning it into apartments.
that's what I've been hearing. I think I even read a newspaper article about it.
I mean, hey, how do you get a haunted apartment? That's how you get a haunted apartment.
Like you said, she checked in with her parents every day, and then January 31st, those calls stopped. She had vanished. And then they find her in the water tank on top of the hotel.
Yeah, on the roof of the
Yeah.
hotel.
And people were complaining because the water tasted funky.
Well, isn't that gross?
Oh, God. Dude,
Well,
this whole
and
thing.
she didn't have her clothes on either, right? Her clothes were separate.
Were they laying out up there on top?
Yeah, they were. I think they were on top of the thing. Like there's a small hole in the top, and somebody somehow it opened, and she either fell or got pushed or jumped in.
But here's the thing, too, with that is the access to get on the roof is secured with one of those alarm doors.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
So
about
what
that.
is she? How does she even get up there?
Right.
Never seen any video of her up there, so I don't know if they just never had cameras. Like I know one popular theory was that maybe somebody that worked there was involved,
Mm-hmm.
and that's who she was kind of running from, and he had control of the elevators, and that's why the elevators were acting strange.
Hmm. I don't know. I feel like there was either somebody slipped her something in her drink,
That could be.
or or there's something not paranormal but supernatural going on there. Something's definitely amiss.
Like she was in that tank for it looks like a couple weeks.
Oh man, can you imagine taking a shower in that water, trying to have a
And of
little
course,
vacay with the missus,
and
you
of course,
know?
the Cecil's famous for Richard Ramirez
Oh,
living
another
there.
another serial killer. That guy wasn't. Oh, we don't need to get into him. This story is a whole another
Oh
ball
yeah,
of worms.
he's nuts. But like the Cecil's famous for this stuff, and then for that to happen to her there, and her parents have come out and said that she had some mental issues. I don't remember if it said schizophrenia or not, which does explain quite a bit, except for the movement of the hands to me and just how weird the elevator was acting.
It's bugging me about those hands. I gotta go watch it. I gotta go watch it. I gotta see the hands. I gotta
I
see the
tell you
hands.
what, before we get into the questions, I'll let you go watch it real quick.
I can't see you, Ray.
Fucking, it's weird. You can't see me.
Oh, there you are.
They're weird. They were going like this, but like bending in weird ways.
Oh,
Like, yeah, it was like I'll send you the clip that I'm talking
okay.
about.
I saw the whole 2.5 minute video. I watched the whole thing.
Well, you should have seen it then.
Well, I mean, she does this a lot with her hands in the hallway, like she's talking to somebody.
Like, zoom in on it when you're watching it.
I'll
It's
have to go back
crazy.
later. I'm not going to waste another 2.5 minutes.
Oh, all right. So you want to do the questions?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. What do you know about the Wisconsin Hodag?
What do I know about the Hodag?
That's what it says.
The Hodag is a party put on in Wisconsin. They call it the Hodag.
Oh, it's a party?
Yeah, but there's probably, I think it was named after a creature that was found long, long time ago. Kind of like kind of like the Wisconsin Bigfoot. I think.
Like shindig.
Yeah, like a shindig, exactly.
I'll have to look that one up. Maybe that can be a cryptid of the week sometime. Ray, how does your religion play into your paranormal beliefs? I mean, it plays a lot into them. I would say, because anybody that is religious has a view of the world in certain ways. You know, people that aren't religious still have their own views of the world. All that plays into how you view those things. Like, I try not to mix the two when I'm talking about it most of the time, but it it's constantly in my mind.
It's hard not to.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts on what?
scrying mirrors.
I love them. I love the idea. I love the the way that if used properly, what you can see. I've only done it a few times, and I tried using the actual scrying mirror. This is many years ago, but I recently found out that, well, recently being in the last 6, 7 years, that you don't need an actual scrying mirror. You can use your TV when it's off. And those of you who are listening right now don't quite understand what a scrying mirror is or what scrying is. There's multiple different kinds of scrying, but the one they're talking about is basically when you stare into a reflective surface, we'll call it, and you stare for a long time to kind of where you start. I don't want to say you start getting sleepy, but you kind of you'll start seeing things. You'll start seeing shadows move and stuff like that. And I know how that sounds. That sounds crazy. There's gonna be people saying, "Well, I call bullshit on that because you're falling asleep. That's why you're hallucinating." But no, um, most people believe that you are actually seeing something from another dimension. Take it for what you will. I'm not here to make anybody believe, but I do like them. I like them a lot, actually.
So have you done the TV thing?
I've done the TV thing. I do it all the time. I have a TV in my room that I never cover at night. I
What do
always
you
leave it
see?
open. I am rolling the dice.
What do you see in it?
I I I I don't want to say. I don't want people to
Oh,
think I'm freaking nuts.
well, I
You
mean,
know.
too late for that.
I
Like, might as well just go ahead and go over the cliff with it. Like, I'm curious.
I've
I've never tried it before. I've never tried a scrying mirror,
I've
and
I've seen teeth. I've seen I've seen some scary looking teeth.
like scary teeth, like
Yeah.
demonic teeth,
More or less.
or like
Yeah.
just like zombie teeth.
But you got to remember, I live in a house where, just a month ago, something grabbed my leg and pulled it off the bed.
Oh yeah, I
You
remember you
know,
telling me about
they
that.
grabbed my inner thigh and pulled my leg off the bed. I mean, my bedroom door flies open at will, you know, and opens to where it slams against the wall. I mean, look around. You know what I've got here:
Have you ever
skeletons and all sorts of cursed and haunted items, especially in the room I'm sitting right now.
have you ever turned your TV to like snow, like Poltergeist, and tried it?
No, I don't have cable. so so I don't have any like open channels like that, and they just go black. They're like
Yeah,
staticky at first and then
digital
clicks like a
TV.
camera.
Apparently, my dog's going crazy.
Yeah. Maybe it's hearing some of the EVPs that we're picking up on this broadcast.
That was so freaky. But digital TV's kind of ruined the whole Poltergeist thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ray, what do you think the most helpful and accurate paranormal investigation tool is, and why? Hmm. Helpful and accurate?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I would probably say your video camera. I mean, because it's going to pick up voices, pictures in front of you, orbs. Like, that's, to me, would be the most helpful and accurate. I don't know if it proves anything unless you catch a full body,
Did I hear
but
you say orbs?
I did say orbs. Like
Okay.
real orbs, none of these dust orbs, snow orbs.
Oh,
I swear I've only seen one real orb in my life, and personally now, And I was at the fire hall and we walked by the ambulance, and this was back when you couldn't download your lives off TikTok.
Right.
So you went live and that was it unless you were screen recording, and I didn't. But this bright light like showed up right in front of me and then zipped off to the be my right and left like a trail behind it and then just disappeared. Like
Was
that
that
that was
was it
freaky.
through the camera or was it?
You could see it on both. I was watching it there and I looked down and I could see the stream still left on the camera. And
Okay,
it's
so
like,
you were watching it in real life, not through a screen.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to
I mean it
me,
was
to me, that's a world of difference.
it was bright, like really bright. It was almost like somebody turned a flashlight on in front of me. And then just whipped off like half a second and left a trail and was gone. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
See, that could spark a whole conversation. Like we could do a whole podcast on just on the orb theories. People think, well, if it emits its own light, it's real, or if it has a face, it's real, or if it's a certain color, that means that's my favorite, in my opinion, BS story ever. when But a lot of people believe it, so I shouldn't shit on it too bad. But
Right.
if you see an orb and it's red, that means it's mad, or if it's blue, that means it's embarrassed or whatever. I'm like, all right, really? I'm sure it has nothing to do with the other items in the room reflecting off of the little piece of dust floating around. I'm sure it has nothing to do with that. No,
One I
no, no,
saw
no.
was bright, bright white, and the trail behind it was kind of like you look at the sun and look away and you see that bluish color.
Hmm.
It's like you looked at a really bright light and moved your eyes is exactly how it looked. How can you
Interesting.
tell the difference between a real orb and I don't know. Like that's tough on a photograph.
Yeah, on a photograph you can't. There's really no way. The best way is on video, and the only way I've found to make it believable is there has to be another action along with it. Like you have to have some sort of you have to have a human being in the video reacting to something he can't see. To me, that's validation. Like I said, I use this example all the time. If you're recording somebody and this orb you see come and flies, or as Zach would say, light anomaly, flies into the head of your friend and then flies off, and your friend goes, "Oh, God, my head hurts." Ding, there you go. That's something. That's something that I would consider more real. So there's got to be something else that goes along with it. A photograph, it's pretty hard to do. You can't prove anything else.
Right.
There's one.
That's for you.
Yeah,
What
I
is it
can't.
between sage and Palo Santo?
What's the difference? One is a leaf and one is a piece of wood. And the leaf is obviously the sage. It's leaves, dried leaves that stink. And Palo Santo has a much more of a fragrance to it, other than doesn't smell so burnt like sage does. Sage smells a very burnt smell, more kind of a little bit like burnt hair, kind of. Are you? No, no, I don't like the smell of sage. I'm not a big fan.
So say I don't know what it smells like.
You've never burned sage?
No.
Really?
Well, what am I gonna do with sage?
Cleanse yourself with it. Don't you know anything? No.
I just take a shower. Thought you're supposed to
Oh,
water.
shower with holy water?
I mean, sometimes. I got jokes, but none of them are appropriate.
Well, that's all right. We're not
Raymond.
on.
Who's calling me Raymond? Salt?
I love it.
Ray. Do you
I
feel
love it.
like there do you feel like there are any legitimate phone spirit box apps, and what would make them legitimate, or are they all just gimmicky? I don't know. I think intent plays a lot into what you're doing. Like if you watch Dylan with Midwest, that ghost tube was amazing for him. Ghost tube for me, it hated me. It didn't do anything. Just spit out random things. I've always liked necrophonic, but I don't know how you could ever say any of them are as legit as just using an SB7. Like I'm even saying, if you bought the Ovilus, I'd still consider the SB7 evidence over that. So hope that answers that.
I concur.
Nice.
Yeah. I was never a fan of Ghost Tube. Never was. I never believed in it, but
Like it goes back to when you talked about you got to have a bond with things. Like Dylan had a bond with Ghost Tube.
yeah, I think
I've seen
he's
him.
probably the only one that it worked for out of our little friend group.
That was what was funny about it, is it didn't do that for any of the rest of us.
No, no.
It was
Um,
crazy.
and Necrophonic worked a few times. I proved that it could work. I proved it. Proved it without a shadow of a doubt. And I've got the video up on my TikTok account. Feel free to go look at it.
Real
Plug,
Ghost Hunter.
plug, plug, plug. Real Ghost Hunter 1. Plug, plug. But yeah, and basically what I did was I wrote a number down on a piece of paper, asked the spirit what it was, and it told me, and even told me who said it, which was even more impressive. So,
I've definitely gotten crazy things off Necrophonic.
um,
I haven't used a whole lot of the other ones. Phasma box. There's one that had like 20 tools in one, like ghost tool box, or I don't remember what it was called now. It had some cool stuff if you had the iPad Pro, which I don't have, so I didn't get to use all the cool stuff.
I saw the SRS question just now.
Yeah, that was to apparently
Yeah.
both of us. I do not like SRS.
SRS is freaky. SRS is freaky. I still have it today. I still have it today. I could use it right now if I want. I know Kyle's really pissed that he doesn't have it. I don't know if he ever did get it after that, but hopefully he did. But yeah, it's freaky. They took it down. It's I don't know why. The rumor mill, I remember saying that they took SRS down because it was bringing in evil. Whether that's true or not, or maybe it was just part of the hype, I don't know. But it's a cool story to talk about nonetheless.
My guess is it wasn't making them a lot of money. They didn't want to keep updating it, so they just let it go.
Yeah, that's the more realistic answer, you
That's what
know.
I'm here for.
But it's not the fun answer.
No, not at all. Brandon, will you teach us more about scrying mirrors in future podcasts?
Sure, we can talk about it more. You know who uses scrying mirrors more than anyone else is Witch Talk.
I can see that.
They have it down to a perfection, you know. I'm just a dabbler. I'm a dabbler. Dabble, dabble. They're the ones who do it all the time. They'd be able, if you're looking to learn from a witch, don't learn from a paranormal investigator.
How do you get the images in the TV? Do you have to say like a chant or anything?
Nope, you just stare at it, man. Just stare at it. You stare long enough to where you're sick of looking at it, and that's when the stuff starts to happen.
We need to do an experiment. Do I got any volunteers? I need somebody or a couple of you to try it and report back to me before the next podcast. Ray, would you try a scrying mirror? No.
No, you wouldn't try it?
I don't want to see nothing.
Do you have a TV in your room?
Yeah?
Well, do you sleep with your TV on?
No.
Oh, so they're watching you already.
I mean, they might be. I don't want to know about it,
Oh, ignorance is bliss in this situation.
right? As long as they can't come through the TV, I'm all right with it.
How
You're
do you
going to
know they
try it
can't?
too. I don't know they can't.
Have
In
you
my
ever
head,
had
they
anything
can't.
happen in your room?
I got scratched once. Remember, I don't know if you remember those big ass scratch marks down the inside of my knee. I got made fun of more because of my white legs than anybody cared about the fact I got scratched by demons.
that's 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 what friends are for, you know.
Right? That's the only thing that's ever happened in my house that I know of.
Well, you had that. I know you had that fire or that shadow figure in the firehouse.
Oh yeah, that was cool. I forgot about that.
many years ago because I duetted it a long time
Oh,
ago.
yeah, that was when I first started investigating. What if I brought my scrying mirror to your house? Would you still wouldn't try it? No. I wouldn't do a Ouija board either, and I could have at Farrar. I had my camera right above the people doing the Ouija board. I'll watch.
Couple different times, didn't you?
Yeah.
Where you had it up? Weren't you standing right by us when I was doing it too?
Yeah, you were doing it upstairs, and
Yep.
then I went down where Mike and Jen, I think it was, were doing it
Yep.
in the classrooms. Like, I have no problem watching it. I just don't. I
You
don't
just don't
want
want to touch it.
no. I don't want to see nothing in my TV. I want nothing talking to me through a board. And I understand it's no different than asking stuff on an SB7. It's just a little more personal to me because you're like making that physical connection, it seems. I don't need that. I don't need to look deep into the eyes of the darkness.
Yeah, somebody in the chat has the coolest scrying mirror I've ever had.
Yeah, JC, you can ask a question. Did Fuki get your scrying mirror?
Yes, she did.
She probably didn't pay what it was worth.
Well,
We know how it goes.
it is what it is. I still think she got a deal, but whatever. It don't matter.
Have you seen anything in it, Fuki?
What got you started in the paranormal? The Blair Witch Project.
Like, got me investigating was watching people on TikTok. I mean, I've always been in the paranormal, just never thought about investigating until I saw people doing it.
True story is what got me started on. You probably have all heard this story already. When I was younger, I heard a voice at my grandparents' house that nobody else heard, and it became a custom. His name was Philip, or at least he went by Philip. Long story short, I was the only one that heard him. By the time I was 9, it went away. And that made me curious as to why it went away. So I started looking into it. And then didn't do nothing my whole teen years. Just chased girls the whole time I was a teenager. And then in my 20s, I started researching and doing stuff.
Man, I thought I about died. I turn around and my wife is like sitting on her butt with her arms behind her, looking through the room way down low, like one of them spider women. Like scared the crap out of me. I turn around and like she's at floor level. She's trying to get the dog out of here. And I had no idea she was behind me, dude. I just turned and see a face staring at me from like a foot above the ground. Jesus.
Oh,
I don't even, I might have to take a break.
scared you that bad, huh?
Oh man, we're talking about seeing shit in a scrying mirror, and I turn around, there's like a face stared at me, and all I see is her arms behind her. Like she could have been walking backwards on her arms and legs, like in the movies.
Oh, I would feel sorry for you, except for that one time when I turned over my left shoulder and saw a drippy floating head.
Oh, that'd be
So,
terrifying.
so it's hard for me to feel sorry for you.
Wouldn't have scared me so bad if we weren't just talking about crap with TVs. She closed the door on me, so now it's probably echoey.
No, I think you're good.
She didn't even take the dog. Reggie stayed in here. That lady.
All right. Do we got any more questions or what do we got? We got to have a good one to close it out. Got to have a good one. Do you have a question that you want to ask me?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh God. Are any of your kids into the paranormal? My daughter messes with tarot cards and crystals. I don't think my son, he wants to go investigate, but he wants to go investigate with one of his college friends. So I think it's just one of those things. I wouldn't say they're into it.
Yeah. My oldest daughter is just starting to get into it. She's been afraid of it her whole life. She hates everything I have in this entire library room that I have, my collection. She hates it. But she's starting to come around. My younger one, Haley, oh my God. Yeah. Riley's the older one. Haley's the younger one. Haley is all about it. She loves it. She's been she used to go on Snapchat when she was with her friends, and she would talk to spirits and try to get them to interact through their Snapchat. You know, and they had that dog filter that would appear and it would have like ears and start panting. Yeah, she made a video of talking to the spirit with that. You know, I didn't
Was
have
she
to
in your
help her.
house?
Yeah, she was in her room.
Oh,
She actually caught her first EVP 7 years ago. She caught her first EVP in our house.
that
She
put
caught it
her
on her phone, sent it to me.
10 or 11, right?
She's just turned 18. So yeah, she would have been 10 or 11.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she's been interested ever since. Loves horror movies. She finds out I go to a horror movie without her, she gets pissed.
But the older daughter's scared of the stuff for her.
Yeah, she's just starting to warm up to it. Just starting to warm up to it to where she's, well, I like that too. I think it's just because she wants to be part of the gang, to be honest with
I
you.
mean, we are the cool gang.
Well, yeah, you know, everybody wants to be part of the cool kids.
Yep.
God damn it. There was something that popped into my head about beginning ghost hunting that I was important that I forgot to bring up, and now I forgot it again.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably something that could have saved a life.
Yep, could have. I guess we'll have to save it for another time. For another time.
We got plenty of podcasts to go.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to end it.
All right. Well, thank everybody for coming in. This is going to conclude Paranormal Watchtower, episode 2. Thanks for everybody for coming in and listening. Those of you who are just listening, we appreciate you for coming in and doing that as well. My name is Brandon. This is Ray. We'll see you on the next one.
Yep, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Find us on TikTok, same name. Look for us on all your major podcast platforms. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.